Outdoors. It's your old buddy Paul, and we are live from Sportsman. And I got a duck walking up on the bank next to me. Decided I was going to do some fishing from this side of the bank while I did a live. Got you guys set up where you can see me. Not so much what I'm doing, but pretty close. Came over here to the second point on the back side of the lake. Got me a chair. I'll chill out and relax. Hopefully you guys will start showing up. Didn't tell nobody I was going to do this today. But what's happened is I don't have a video prepared for today. So thought I'd just come do a live stream instead. My goodness, at that grass. So you guys can still hang out with me. I can still hang out with you. And still get to fish. Still get to make some kind of content. Let's see about changing out these glasses. Is that gonna make a difference? Not really. Just don't see quite as good. So still got to remember I'm attached to a camera via a cord, so I can't like just jump up, start running around. That's the way it goes sometimes. Should have a video ready to go by Tuesday. So hopefully we'll get back on schedule eventually. But this week's had some special circumstances. Today is literally my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday, Harley. And so I thought I spent a lot of time doing stuff with her this week. Between that and work and everything else that goes on in the regular world. Just didn't get a chance to make too much content. So this is the content. Right now I'm throwing a 16th ounce ball head jig with a gizzard shad on it. And sitting on the bank, waiting on something to happen. What was that? Something just jumped out the water. Get off there, grass. Let's throw at it. See if it'll bite. Saw lots of activity at this spot when I drove up. Some fish jumping out the water and whatnot. So, there he is. Looky there. Get up here, buddy. Get up here. Back in the water he went. My goodness. My goodness. We had one there for a second, y'all. One for a second. I feel like I'm too close to the water. Oh well, that was fun. That was a bass for y'all that didn't see. It was a bass. Little bitty feller. Little bitty feller. But we like catching them too. We like catching fish. Pretty much of all sizes and species. What we don't want to catch is the turtles, and there's plenty of them out here. So we got to watch out for those guys. Yeah, get out from under my arms. There's some big old turtles in this lake, big ones. And I don't like catching them because they wreck everything they touch. They wreck your bait, wreck your hook. Everything. They wreck everything. So, how y'all been this week? How many have I caught? Can you catch fish? Sometimes. And I've already caught one, but he got off the hook before I could put my fingers on him. And let's see what that says. Okie dokie. Got to be careful in this little particular spot where I'm fishing because there's a lot of snags. Lots of them. Lots of them. I've been broke off here more than I've probably been broken off in a lot of places out here on this lake. Just from catching something, I don't know what it is out there, but I don't catch it all the time. But when I do, it's generally bad. Bigger. Well, there ain't a whole lot of big ones in this lake. I ain't gonna say there ain't none, because I've caught one or two out of here that's pretty decent size. But most of them, they're just fun sizes. And that's what I like catching most, fun size. So that's what I focus on, just catching whatever's biting. Preferably not the turtles. So how's y'all's week been? It's a Saturday. Hopefully everybody's had a good week. Hope the Lord's blessed you. Like I said, it's this week we've been trying to celebrate my youngest daughter's birthday. Well, like I should say, my daughter's birthday. I ain't got but one. So there we are. She turned 18 today. She's out with her friends doing her own thing. And so this is what I'm doing, my own thing. Folks out there on the paddle boats, and saw somebody on a kayak earlier. A little bit of sun, a little bit of clouds. Don't know about the rain. There are some dark clouds up there. If it starts raining, we're gonna have to break camp. Get on out of here. And y'all don't fret if you missed the live stream, it'll be reposted. Oh, that's way over there. I ain't never gonna get that far. What y'all doing on Saturday? About 5 o'clock, I reckon is what time it is. Well, I tell you what, there, Dylan, I don't really want to break camp in a rain. I mean, I'm not camping, I'm fishing, but the problem is I'm having to do everything with my phone right now, and it ain't waterproof. If it gets wet, I'm a done for. So, I have to be aware of that stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. Now, and I'm actively looking for getting me another action camera, like another GoPro or something like that. But they ain't cheap, and the ones I want just ain't available around here. I don't necessarily need the GoPro 13 or the new one they got, the Mission. And so that's, I'm looking for another GoPro 10 or a GoPro 12 maybe. Because all my gear that I have, batteries and accessories, they still, I got all that stuff. I don't want to have to buy anything else. So that's what we're doing. We're looking. Oh, well, I have to say there, Dylan, I love fishing in the rain. I mean, seriously, it's fun. And sometimes when you're out here in the rain, the bite is on like Donkey Kong, you know what I mean? But, you know, just, due to my equipment restrictions right now, I can't make videos doing that. That's not to say, if it started pouring down rain, I wouldn't run all this stuff back up to the truck, come right back down here to this spot, sit down, start fishing. Y'all just wouldn't get to see it. You know what I mean? Kind of defeats the purpose of having an outdoor channel. Ooh, no, that's not a fish. That's one of them there spots I told you about that's snaggable. So, oops, this is terribly inconvenient. Terribly inconvenient. I'm trying to pop it loose. Got to remember that spot. Don't throw out there and try to bounce along the bottom. Y'all hang on. I'm gonna pull my earpiece off. I'm still here. No hook. Gotta retie. Gotta retie. I don't know if y'all heard any of that, but y'all saw the line without a hook on it, I'm sure. Right now I'm digging for my hooks. They're in my pocket. And of course I'm pulling everything in my pocket out before I get to my hooks. And there they are. What else I got in there? I only got one more thing in my pocket. Let's see what it is. Look, different hooks. I'll tell you what, we fixing to tie on a different hook. Because these dudes have been missing too many fish, and I don't know what the malfunction is with them. So we're gonna tie this dude on. It ain't. I like these hooks. They're sticky, but they're a weird color, and well, I'll be perfectly honest, I prefer gray. I prefer no color. So, no. Alright, let's tie this thing up. Try not to throw it back out there and lose another one. How about that? Get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. I have to be quiet right now because I'm counting to myself. Counting loops and whatnot. Where's my scissors? Scissors. Where you at? There you are. Trying not to pull everything out of the bag while I'm trying to get my scissors out. Don't cut yourself with the scissors. I have been known to do that. Put our trash over there. Test our knot. Alright, there's that. Now, what are we going to throw? I think we're going to throw this here big bite Spates. Paddle tail, grub, curly tail, big old thing. I was throwing a gizzard shad. Now we're going to throw something like this. Oh, there's that. That didn't take too long. Now I got to reset my drag. Alright. Not too bad. Alright. Fish on. Well, not fish on, literally. Continue to fish. Gotta admit, that feels weird, so I'm gonna stick this over here. Lots of grass. Okay. Go right down the bank line with it. Boy, that's super shallow. Super shallow. Super duper shallow. And full of grass. Yep. It's all a part of it. No, not quite so close to the bank. Not quite so close to the bank. No, I am not catfishing, Paul, 1982. I'm not opposed to catfishing. I'm just not specifically catfishing. There are catfish in this lake, but I prefer the bluegill, the crappie, and the bass. And the shellcracker on the occasion that they decide they want to bite my hook. But I've never caught a catfish out here. They say they're in here, and I've heard plenty of stories. I ain't never seen one. I ain't never caught one. There's also big old grass carps in here. I have seen them plenty of times. I ain't never hooked into one. Be perfectly honest, with the rig I'm fishing right now, that would be a catastrophe. Oh, congratulations, man. I love catching them bluegill. They are some of my absolute favorites. They, you know, you got the right setup, buddy. They are fun to catch. I like catching them on the lighter rig stuff, you know. Makes for a fun time. For sure. I caught me a bluegill today. This ain't my first trip out here today. Caught me one somewhere afternoon, I know that. But yeah, that dude, he hit me right at the bank, and he kind of shocked me so much that when I set the hook, I jerked him completely out the water and threw him way over my head. About the same time the old train that runs around out here was coming by, I thought I was going to get hit by the train. Thankfully, he did not, and I got him back. Got him back in the water. He was just fine. So, yeah, but he's the only one I caught today so far. Like I said, I ain't opposed to it. If they want to light this thing up right quick, we go right ahead and start putting them on the bank. Well, Arkansas. I've been to Arkansas one time when I was a young man. Well, actually, I probably wasn't even a young man. I was probably a kid of a boy. Went out there one time with my dad, and we built a church. It wasn't our church. We weren't going there, but we built it up, pretty much framed that sucker up and put the walls on it and everything in about a day, which was pretty impressive if you ask me. I mean, I think it took all of probably less than a week to get the whole thing put together and everything. It was definitely different. Where was that snaggy place? Because I don't want to throw out there no more. Throw it over there. Where we caught the last one at. Yeah, that was long time ago. A long time ago. One of the things I remember about that trip was it was a long drive. Because I live in Alabama, and it was just a long drive. I also remember we drove over to the we drove to the Missouri state line just so we could say we went to Missouri too. Oh, let's see what you got rolled in there, buddy. Uh-huh. Well, that's I'll take that into consideration there, Paul. 1982. When if I have to rig up again, I don't really have too many split shots though. I don't know that I have anything like that in my tackle bag out right now. I'll be perfectly honest. Most of it's ball head jigs and stuff like that. What was that? What was that? Do you see my little curly tail grub coming through there? Don't you want to bite it? Something was popping on top of the water right there. Yeah, it does take a long time to make buildings. You know, houses and stuff. That's why I said it was impressive the way everything got done in such a quick amount of time. But it was some kind of Christian organization that's what they specialized in, building churches and whatnot. They went around the country doing it. Because how we actually got hooked up with those folks is they came to our church and built it in a day. And when I say a day, the only thing that was sitting there was the concrete foundation, and they built the whole thing. They put the walls up, put the top on, electrified it, the whole shebang in 24 hours. It was nuts, man. We made TV that day, believe it or not. A news crew came out and did a story on it. Now, that was many moons ago. When I say that, I was literally a kiddo boy. I don't even think I was a teenager yet. Now I'm an old man. It's amazing I can even remember that. Yep, lots of grass out here. But it was an interesting thing, no doubt. Just about hit a turtle right in the head when I dropped that one in the water. Oh, I hear you. I get what you're saying. And you was building it by yourself? Well, if you're doing all that by yourself, I hear you. Because I tell you right now, there's a house that was built down the road from my house. And from the foundation up, it probably took them 2 months. Now, that's dealing with weather and everything. But still, that's to me is, if you got contractors and whatnot, that's probably about right. But yeah, doing it yourself, that's a whole different ball game. That's some useful skills to have too there, Paul. It's weird saying that because my name's Paul too. It feels like I'm talking to myself. Referring to myself in this third person, which I am not. I find it interesting when I run into other folks named Paul. Ooh, that was interesting. Hit the water and something yanked on it. Man, I see two big old turtle heads out there in the middle of the lake, and I mean, they are ginormous. Way bigger than I would like to deal with. Stay out there, please. Know what I mean? That did not even go where I wanted it to. What's that say? One person. If you're the one person, say it's me. Just saw something go splashing across the top of the water. No. All by myself. Let me look at this thing. Oh, look, one person. When I stick my thumb up there, I can see the top of the screen way better. But I'm pretty sure y'all don't appreciate looking at my fingers that close to the camera. Uh-oh, I think I just throwed out there where that snaggy spot is. Let's don't just stay there. Let's just swim it on back right quick. Man, I just saw something right there in the water. What was that? I ain't real sure, but whatever it was big enough for me to see it. There's a little fish right there. What is that? I don't know. Let's catch it and find out. You know what I mean? What I am seeing here is a lot of like fry and tiny fish that the other fishes likes to eat. So this might be a halfway decent spot eventually. They'll come up here and start looking for something to eat. I have to be perfectly honest. I wouldn't, you know, outside the fact that I'm doing live, I normally don't sit in one spot this long unless the bite is on. But special occasions call for special circumstances. Look at all this grass. Y'all see all that? That's like a every time type of thing. Nope. Where I meant to throw that. Y'all ever have that problem? When you go to throw the line, you just you toss it out there and it don't go nowhere where you intended it for it to go. The grown-ups throwing rocks in the water. That's just annoying. More grass. Ow. Don't stick yourself in the finger, see? This is what we're dealing with. And it's everywhere. And if it ain't that grass, it's that mossy snot stuff that sits on the bottom. Well, got a little bit of a breeze blowing now. It ain't too bad, but nice and cool, I tell you that. I enjoy cool air. Especially since it was like, I don't know what it got up to today, but it wasn't bad except, when I got out here fishing. I know, I got out here in the middle of the day. Ain't nobody's fault but my own. But, again, it's my daughter's birthday. So I was going to spend some time with her because I knew she's going out. So, she is my baby, so I want to spend some time with her. Toot toot, there goes the train. For all you folks out there in internet land, YouTube place, or whatever y'all want to call this thing. If you ever come to Coleman, Alabama, I suggest you come to Sportsman's Lake and ride the train. Especially if you got kids. For some reason, kids seem to dig it. Go play some putt-putt golf. There's a playground. There's a little splash pad. And there's fishing, and there's picnic tables and gazebos and all that stuff. Now, nobody pays me to say any of that. I don't get any kind of kickback from that. Nothing. I just like this place. That's why I'm here all the time. Big old stick. It's camp. That's kind of why I'm here all the time. I like it here. It's nice. It's peaceful. Well, most of the time it's quiet. Not always. But, it is a public park with a lake. It ain't the only lake around here, but it's my favorite. Because I don't got to fight with boat traffic and, I can walk completely around this lake because it ain't but about 3 miles around it. So yeah, plenty of bank to fish from. Plenty of bank to fish from. Until I get to the point where I can get me a boat, this is kind of what we do. Yeah, that felt odd. Y'all still there? Two people still there. Oh, that was just not a fish. That was me on a rock or something. Not a fish. I think that was grass. I don't know what it is about me doing live streams, but it's like one fish. That's it. That's all you're gonna get for the whole stream. We'll have to get better at this. You know what I mean? That's just fishing. Alright, tell you what. We're gonna swap out this here curly tail grub. It just ain't doing it. Which is unfortunate because I really like these guys from Big Bite Baits. Not sponsored, but I like their stuff. Hydration. We're gonna go to the old tackle bag over here. They got something in here that last time not last time, because I don't think I caught nothing over here last time I was in this particular spot. But a few times I've been in this particular spot. This little fella right here. Ooh, that was a fish jumping. This little fella right here. It was magical. Magical. I couldn't get it back in the water fast enough for him, it seemed like. So, let's try this dude. Plus, with the water conditions, this might be a good deal. Crazy bright hook with a black and chartreuse blackout shad. Bobby Garland, blackout shad. Yeah, let's try that. See what that does. Maybe we can get enough fish for. We have to shut this thing down. Let's try it. No. No. The two people that are watching me, leave a comment. Let me know who you are, what you doing. We can maybe have conversation while we wait for the fish to cooperate. I tell you what, though, this is a pretty place to be. One of the reasons I like it so much is such a pretty place. Oh my goodness. There goes a family of ducks. They might be family. I don't know. They're all big ducks. Old baby ducks with those ducks. There's two more over there. If you like looking at ducks, this is a good place to come do it. Geese. Any geese. There's a whole bunch of geese that hang out at this lake. And you can always come check out the old chicken duck. You guys don't ever watch my channel. There's several videos of me and the chicken duck. Because I don't know what kind of duck he is, but he looks like a chicken and a duck. Had a baby, called him Chicken Duck. Well, hopped it right up on the bank with me there, buddy. Thank you. I had to go over to that concession stand, grab me a hot dog here in a minute. I'm not the biggest hot dog fan, but they do all right. They got hamburgers too. Oh, that's not a fish. That's somebody else's line. Where'd that go? Somewhere over there behind me. Well, right here, this is going to be helpful to not just me, but everybody. We're going to get rid of all this big old tangled mess of line here. Yeah. mean, I hate when I break off. It happens to everybody. But it's way cool when you can get it out of the water. You know what I mean? That's one less thing that everybody snag on. Oh goodness, how much line do I got here? Quite a bit. I know this ain't my line. My line is green. Right now, anyway. I'm not gonna say that wasn't from me breaking off at some point in the past, though. It happens. Check out everything. Make sure everything's still good. Line feels good to there. The hook looks all right. Pintail still doing his thing. He's dragging the bottom. Oh, just when you think you got something, you find out it's just a snag. Here comes some of my duck friends over this way. One thing I don't recommend you do out here is feed the ducks, because they will not leave you alone after that. And I just don't think it's healthy for them, for us to feed them human food. That was not where I want to go with that. Come on out of that. Come on back over here. Come on. Get up here. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Let's check this dude out. Make sure we didn't wreck nothing when I threw it over there. Basically, I threw it in the water on the other side of the bank over there and hooked it in a bunch of grass. Alright, ducks, go on, get out the way. Y'all still hanging out. 3 people hanging out. Yeah, let's try that. Get the grass off of it. Well, that ain't exactly where I meant to throw it. Nope. Seeing a little pokey head coming out of the water over there. I'm kind of seeing what it is. Well, guess that's about it. Oh, there's one somebody. Hello, somebody. Something's getting my leg. Bugs. Hope that was water splashing me off the line into my arm. Alright, y'all. Guess that's gonna be it. That's an hour. We caught one fish that y'all might have got seen. Unless we get one right here on the way back to the bank. I think this is going to be the last cast for this live. Alrighty, we're going to call it right there. Look out. Incoming duck. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as I have. I totally get it. Thank you, J-Bone 6969. And hello to New York, Long Island, from Coleman, Alabama. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your, upcoming week. Hope everybody, makes it to church tomorrow if you can. And, well, that's that. Remember, as long as you got the Lord in your heart, you're never alone. Y'all keep getting after it. See y'all later. Beep.